Ah, beautiful.
Yes, so we celebrate Christmas as mom's birthday.
That's wonderful. Christmas babies are good. Christmas babies are good. So, hello, we're recording. Today is November, oh my goodness, what is it? 27.
Yes,
27. And we're here again to another session of the dive into the divine with myself, Margaret, Bryant Energy Oracle, and Arundu. So, um, let's tell everybody a little bit again what we do, and you go first. Introduce yourself and how people can get in touch with you.
yes, ma'am. So first of all, your name is Margaret Energy Oracle, and you do the past life regression and many energy works and helping people to
Yes.
light up their own self. And myself is Anirudh Shivanand. And previous, we have done the dive into the divine, and that helped many people. We it's have to more than 300 views. So this time we are making the dive into divine point two for helping more peoples and
Yes,
solving the questions.
absolutely. um, well, because that's what I do, is do what I can, the best that I can, to assist people with providing information to assist themselves in their own level of awareness and raising their vibration, and helping them develop a very intimate relationship with their soul. And that makes me very happy. So let's begin. Also, I can be reached. My website is seekthelightwithin.com, just as spelled just as it sounds. I also have a Facebook page under Margaret Bryant Energy Oracle that you can connect with me there. And also, this is my YouTube channel. It's Margaret Bryant Energy Oracle. So let's go.
Yes, ma'am.
So, where would you like to
I,
start today?
yes, ma'am. First of all, I again thank you to coming with me in this special spiritual session.
You're very
And
welcome. It's my pleasure.
with the first question, I only have to ask you what you believe about the sound therapy and how this musical ball helps people to get more consciousness.
Well, sound therapy is a very scientifically proven process to help heal the body. Um, Different sounds vibrate the cells in the body in different ways, and therefore when they're vibrating, they're releasing different energies. It can release trauma, past memories and things like that, so that they can come to the surface. People can remember them consciously and then work to release them from their consciousness and to help themselves heal in many different ways. So there are many different types of sound therapy. um, Solfeggio frequencies are a very big one. There are very specific Hertz frequencies that vibrate in the body in different places. So that is one thing that you can use. Crystal bowls, Tibetan singing bowls, chimes, so many different things that will trigger that response in the body with the cells to cause them to vibrate. When we release things from our body, negative energies, traumas, hurts, past wounds, negative belief systems, our body begins to heal. And not only that, but it gives us a space in our body, because we've released a negative energy, to replace it with a higher vibrating frequency. So we can replace it with more light, just using your intention and your focus to breathe in a colored light, white light, something specific that feels good for you. That will help to raise your vibration. Sound will do the same thing. Playing the higher frequencies will help to elevate uh, and make those cells in your body vibrate faster, which also raises your frequency, because it is all about vibration. Not necessarily your level of awareness. It's about getting the cells to vibrate faster, to be able to hold more photonic light. So that's my understanding of how it works, and I know that it does work. I use sound for my own self all the time. I have crystal singing bowls. I love to listen to solfeggio frequencies, and I recommend this to all of my clients and students all the time.
So taking weeds and alcohol, how much it affects spiritual life? If someone taking alcohol, weeds, and any type of tobacco product, how it affects spiritual life?
There are many different things out there that people will use, psychotropic drugs, mushrooms, DMT, LSD, to give them a mind-altering experience. People also use marijuana to give them a psychotropic experience. It assists them in creating and accessing different places within their consciousness. These drugs are not necessary. There are ancient practices of using ayahuasca and using some other type of plant medicine to assist in reaching those higher states of consciousness so that they can go on specific journeys. These things are not necessary. They actually open you up to many other realms and make the mind and body weaker so that negative energies can attach to the person and to their consciousness and alter their lives in a very difficult way. And those energies will come in and portray themselves as something wonderful and helping you assist with your connection and that, but it's not actually a pure connection, and they're not assisting you because they have an ulterior motive. They have another agenda. Alcohol, when drinking alcohol, it can produce tears and rips in the auric field, which then allows negative energies to get in. Marijuana, there is between our skin and our skull, there is a layer of fat to help protect the bone. When smoking marijuana, that layer of fat thickens and it actually dulls the senses. And that is why it is also used in prescriptions recommended by a lot of physicians here in the United States and abroad to be used for people that have anxiety, depression, and things of that nature to help to dull what it is that they're feeling. The anxiousness and the anxiety is coming from outside energies and them not knowing how to deal with it. So in my guided meditations that I do, I teach people that they don't need chemical assistance to reach those level states of that highness, that euphoric feeling, that divine connection, that it is not necessary. And you will actually have a much better experience in your meditation and what divine beings you are connecting with without the use of them.
Yes, taking alcohol descend our consciousness. That's why we have to avoid it.
Well, it doesn't necessarily descend your consciousness. You can drink alcohol and protect yourself as long as you don't drink to excess and you drink in moderation, of course. It does not, nothing descends your consciousness, only you.
Yes.
So you are in charge. You can have a drink of alcohol and fully protect yourself so your auric field isn't open. Have a social drink of alcohol with your friends, of course, if you're of age. Your family holidays, things like that. And you just, when you're done, or the next day, clearing your energy and breathing in that light, you'll be at the same level of awareness. It does not do that. What descends yourself in your level of consciousness is when we forget to do our daily practices and do not hold ourselves accountable for our own energy. That's what does that. We are in charge at all times. At all
Yes.
times. So we get to choose. So, if you're not feeling well and you want to continue to stay not feeling in a good space, not in a good mood, then that's a choice that you make. Or you can say, I don't like the way that I'm feeling. This isn't comfortable. So I'm going to go into a meditation, or I'm going to sit here and center myself and ground and breathe a few times, using my intention to bring my energy and my awareness back up. And then you do that. So it's a conscious choice at all times. All times. When we falter and we go backwards and we forget to do our practices, we get busy, things like that, that happens in life. You'll notice it because you'll start saying, oh, wow, I really don't have any energy. I'm not feeling very good. Why am I feeling this way? And then you remember, oh, I didn't meditate yesterday. Oh, and I didn't today. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go meditate right now. Yes, I'm going to go meditate right now, and I'm going to feel so much better. So, and then that's what you do. So when you recognize what makes you feel better, happier, more joyful, more centered and grounded, or what doesn't, that is what will push you to make things a conscious choice and a practice in your life.
In
What
the
do you
Western,
do? What do you do? What do you do for a spiritual practice every day?
first of all, I wake up in the morning 4 a.m. and then I meditate for 1 hour after the bath. And then I read holy scriptures to raise my consciousness and the knowledge. And then I serve the nature. I take a ball of rice or something to eat and serve the nature, like giving the food to the squirrels, birds. And
Mm-hmm.
here in the Vrindavan, there's a lot of monkeys. You can find lots of monkeys, so I serve them. So I
Okay,
serving the God through the nature.
good, wonderful. So if you get up and you have overslept and now you have duties that you have to go and perform, what do you do to fill in that time that you missed in your meditation?
I Whenever I feel something like this, I sit quietly and watch my breaths to getting something new feelings.
Okay, good job. Because it's important. If you can't get to your morning meditation like that, or your regular practice, or you forget, whatever that looks like, as long as you stop and take 5 minutes, consciously participate, watching your breath, centering your energy, thinking a positive, happy thought, that will change that immediately. So it's not always necessary to meditate for 1 hour, 10 minutes, a couple times a day, once a day, as long as you do it. As long
In
as you
my
do it.
view, in my view, the spirituality is two things: unconditional love and kindness. If you have this, you are spiritual from inside. You don't have to show off. If you are kind from inside, if you are having unconditional love from inside, you are a spiritual being who are making to the path of
But we are all
universe.
spiritual beings. We are all spiritual beings.
Yes,
But what you choose to do with your energy changes your level of awareness, and therefore also helps to change your divine connection. We are all souls. We are all light.
yes,
What
we
we
are the part
choose,
of life.
what we all choose to do with that is, up to the person. So continue.
Yes, yes.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
No problem. In the Western world, there is a famous trending term called Kundalini Yoga. So, what's your views about this? That this Kundalini Yoga is word is trending all over the Western world.
Kundalini yoga is really coming to the forefront because people are more interested in releasing their Kundalini for a sexual experience. There are people who want to release their Kundalini energy for more quote unquote power. There are others that want to release their Kundalini energy just for having a clearer divine connection, which that is truly what it is about. That is what that energy is for, is to give that clear divine connection, and it's energy that's held at the base of the spine. Now, releasing the Kundalini can be very blissful and spiritual and amazing, or it can be very painful and difficult and hurt and take a long time, or it can be spontaneous. It isn't always a pleasant experience, and it can last for a couple days. And sometimes it is a pleasant experience. It depends where the person is. If they understand what's going on, if they can help to move the energy through their body, and if they pay attention to that, and they learn wonderful techniques to assist in that process. So opening the Kundalini is chakra clearing is paramount to that. You cannot truly open your Kundalini without clearing your chakras first, and not just working with your chakras and getting them balanced. You have to keep clearing them all the time, clearing out those negative thought processes and energy that are held there, that are attached in the body in other places. And then your Kundalini can start to open up, because you have to clear the way for it to open up.
Yes, in this
That's my understanding anyway.
yes, in this trending terms, there's a one more trending thing called spells. People do lots of spell online also. Love spell, magic, money spell, black magic spell. So, according to you, does this is good or bad thing? Doing spells is a good or bad thing?
There is black magic and there is white magic. There are Wiccan witches and there are dark witches. Working with magic, you walk a very thin line. As long as you work the magic and to only help yourself, not to manipulate the free will of anyone else ever, not to do anything that is going to cause harm at all, even to your physical self, then yes, people practice that. Do I practice that? No. I have found through experience that practicing magic walks a very fine line, and some people think it's okay to just do one little thing and open the door and call in some lower level being for help. And what it actually does is it opens the door unknowingly to the person that's doing it usually, and it opens the door to much bigger and badder things to come in. There is, call it a fine line between light and dark. There really is no light because it's only polarity. There's only variations of the light. But the more you step into the lower level energy and open that up, the more that's going to come to you and then eventually become harmful. Walking in the true path of the light, working with the light, only working with the divine and the divine beings, there's a much different feel with that. And just for those interested, people working with the light and the energy of the divine, there are many more things that we can do than those that work with the dark and what the dark energy can do. That is why the dark energy watches the light energy all the time, trying to learn. And there are things that they will never be able to do that those of us that walk in the light can. I don't condone anybody. That is their journey. And sometimes people have to go on that journey to learn and to know if they want to choose something different or not. And I honor and respect everybody's journey. That doesn't mean that I have to partake in it. That doesn't mean that I have to support that part of it. I will support the person and their being. And that's what I do. I support people in their choices. And just because they make choices that I don't like, I can choose to help them see all of the opportunities and present them with all the opportunities possible instead of just choosing one that may take them down a path that becomes more difficult for them later on.
In our previous video, we have talked about energy codes which joined knowingly or unknowingly. So how can we detach that energy cord that someone energy have connected to ourselves? So how can we detach that energy cord?
Okay, so we have the etheric cords attached to everybody we've ever met in our whole life. Understand that. Everybody you've ever met in your whole life. So energy runs back and forth through them. You're sending energy to them, they're sending energy to you, it goes back and forth. It could be they're sucking energy out of you, or you're receiving their negative energy. It goes a million different ways. Cords of unconditional love can never be severed, can never be cut. I ask Archangel Michael to come in and cut all those cords. I do not ask for him to cut specific cords because I do not want anything, any attachment to anybody but unconditional love. I don't need someone sucking my energy dry, and I don't want to participate in feeling their energy either if I don't have to. So I ask for all the cords to be cut, and Archangel Michael will come in with his sword. You need to get quiet. You can't just say, okay, come in and cut all the cords. You need to sit down and get quiet and then have him cut all the cords. And then I have Archangel Raphael come in and pull all the plugs that are left from the detachment of the cords so that the cords can't reattach easily. Now, when you do a cord cutting, and there's some wonderful videos on YouTube that will assist with the instruction of how to do the cord cutting. If you Google Doreen Virtue Archangel Michael cord cutting, it will take you to a wonderful recording on Hay House that will take you through that process. So you want to cut all the cords, have Archangel Raphael pull all the plugs, and then you're going to put up your level of protection. Now, most people that you cut those cords from, they are going to feel that you have disconnected from them. And they're going to reach back out to you. And they're going to try to reconnect those cords. They don't know that's what they're doing, but they are, they're messaging you, they're calling you, or you keep thinking about them, and then you get in touch with them, and now you've reattached those cords. You need to decide if you stop speaking to that person and moved on to something else in your life for a reason. And do you want to reopen that engagement? So if you forget and you open that energetic attachment again by conversation, things like that, then you ask Archangel Michael to come in and cut the cords again, and you put up a boundary, asking him to help assist you in not communicating with that person. Okay? Because they'll keep trying. It's a natural thing. That energy goes to where it's always used to flow. So we'll continue to try to reattach there. So you need to make a conscious choice. I don't want to, this person isn't in my life for a reason, and I don't want to reconnect with that. And then you have to consciously pay attention. Consciously pay attention. That's what this whole shift is about being conscious of your thoughts and your actions 100% of the time. Is it possible? Yes, it is. Is it easy? No, it's not. It gets easier as you continue to practice. Am I 100% conscious of all of my thoughts? No. But I catch myself at the negative thoughts more than I ever did. And the more I catch myself and cancel them and replace them with 2 positive ones, the less I have those thoughts. And then in doing so, in having less of those types of thoughts and reacting in those certain ways, my vibration is high. I feel good. I'm happy. I'm happy almost all the time. And sometimes I'm not, and that's okay. Whatever has triggered me, then I'll take care of it. I'll release it energetically. I'll work with it, get rid of it, and move on to the next best thing. I choose to be happy. I choose to live a life full of love. I choose to help people as much as I can. I choose these things. Do I choose to do other things too? Yes. That's okay. We're here for the experience. So it's always a choice.
I'm seeing a lot of books in your bookshelf. So, what kind of books do you have to suggest to the spiritual workers or the youths that they can read and understand more? Because you are, I'm seeing many books in your bookshelf, so you can suggest us.
That's not the half of them. Um, Read books about connecting with your angels. Read books about the soul and how the soul expands. Read books about ascension. Read about changing your vibration and living a positive, happy life. The law of attraction. The law of attraction is a really great place to start. Read books about healing the self. I have books on all of those things and so much more about soul evolution, growth of the soul, connecting with the soul, connecting with divine beings, how to clear my energy, many different modalities. I have a lot of books in my library that I haven't read yet, but I bought them because I knew I was supposed to. So when the time when I'm called to do it, then I'll pull that book off the shelf. So, and I also have a lot of books because I like to lend them out to people that can't afford to buy them. And a lot of my books are not available in libraries. And some of my books aren't even available on Amazon. And so I love to read and I love to learn. And you can't believe everything you learn. You read, you have to choose what resonates with you. And you may read something today that doesn't resonate with you today, but 5 years from now, you're going to remember, oh, okay, now I can see how that fits. I can see how that works. Okay, I can connect it now to something. And you get kind of excited and you go back and get the book and look at it again in those different places. So a book I would recommend for people to read is Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements. That's a life-changing book. It's a very easy read. God on a Harley. I don't know who the author is. I was just talking about that book today. That's a wonderful, eye-opening book for people to read. Course in Miracles, that's kind of difficult for some people to accept and understand and put into practice. Conversations with God by Neale Donald Walsch. His books are amazing, and I will tell you, he was having a conversation with God. And the information provided in those books is amazing and wonderful. And yes, was I skeptical when I first read the book? When I first got it out, I was reading, and before I was even to the second chapter, I knew, because I started getting validation and confirmation in my body what I was reading was correct. I was getting tingles and chills and goosebumps and everything all over the place. I knew what I was reading was correct. and he's a wonderful man. I have met him. Um, books connecting with your angels. That's another really great place to start, because it really helps you to work with your guides, your angels, and your spirit guides. It teaches you how to connect with them, how to practice connecting with them, what to look for, to making sure that you ask for proof that they're of love and light. And it takes you through different meditations. But I will tell you, if you want to develop your intuition in any way whatsoever, chakra clearing. You have to do the chakra clearing. In doing so, you free yourself up for that energy to come in and flow, because it is, your intuition is just energy. So for it to flow and to give you a clearer connection to your own higher self, your I am presence, and through to the divine.
Every time we read a book or do any karma, we have bow a seed for the future.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, absolutely. And there's something I do like ebooks, because when I travel, I like to I usually am reading 4 or 5 books at once. So um, if I'm traveling, I can take it in one tablet. But the books that I use for research and that I know I'm going to go back to, there's something to be said for having it in written form in your hand. That book holds an energy, those words hold an energy that is much different than what you will get from a computer screen. And I'm all about reading energy and the feeling of it and everything. And I will tell you that there is a much different energy that comes from holding a book in your hand as opposed to reading one online. But we do want to save trees also.
Yes, recently I'm reading a book called The Alchemist, and it's really, books are really amazing.
It is very good. It's one that's highly recommended also. Anything by Eckhart Tolle, that is also recommended. Being present, being in the present moment. Um, Books by Paul Selig.
Yes, yes, yes.
They are channeled. His mastery books are amazing, wonderful forms of information, and they're full of energy. So while you're reading them, you're also getting the energy from which the words are spoken. Um, who else is some of the older authors are really wonderful to read too. Catherine Ponders, about healing and alchemy. Um, Neville Goddard, Bruce Lipton. Bruce Lipton is about the biology of belief. He's and about epigenetics and how about you don't have to. So let's say your genes say that you carry the gene for a rare type of cancer. That doesn't mean you're going to get that rare type of cancer, and you can decide, no, I'm not. By choosing your thoughts and what you believe and don't believe and sticking with that, that is what tells your body what to do. So Bruce Lipton is one to read. Greg Braden is another wonderful author. Wayne Dyer, who passed a few years ago, his books are very good to read. So all of these will help you in many different ways. It's just where you are in your own awareness and what your path is, what you're going to do. For myself, because I'm sitting here as a teacher, it is important to me to gain knowledge from all different places, different things to present, besides the knowledge that I get from the divine. I also am doing religious studies where I'm learning the basic foundations of all the different religions so that I can understand why people think and believe the way that they do. And in doing so, I've also have recognized that their basis in creation and their foundations are almost all identical. They're just talked about in different ways.
Yes, my mom always said that that path are the difference, but the goal is the same.
Yes.
The different religion and is the different roads,
Yes.
which
Different roads
destination
leading
is
to
the
the
same.
same place.
Yes, yes.
very much.
In just 14 days before, there is a Children's Day. So any parenting tips you have to give to the parents so they can guide their children best, so they can light up more in the future? Because today kids are not like before. They are angry. They are much more angry, and they are just going in the depression.
So we don't want the kids to act like we did before. Now you are a child. To me, you are a child. You're a young kid. We do not want the children to go back and act like we did, because we're just going to continue repeating the cycle of hatred and war and disease that we have been in. The children that are being born now and that are your age, in your age group, in young teens and college age, and the younger ones, they are already awake. They are aware. They see things. They don't know how to express it. They know. They don't want to create karma. We are here to end the balance and cycle of karma. They come in and they don't want children, because children create karma. Even though it could be a wonderful karma because they're wonderful parents and loving and kind and gentle and all of that, it still creates a karmic debt that will need to be worked out. So a lot of the children, teenagers, young college students, do not want to have children, but they don't know it's for that reason. They understand, and they don't want to bring children into the world that the way it is right now and the way things are and probably could be. So that is their reasoning behind that. Just with the younger children, when they come to you and tell you that they have an imaginary friend, believe them. It's not an imaginary friend. They're seeing something. They're seeing probably an angel. But asking them, engaging them, how do you feel when you see this, your friend? Do you have fun with your friend? Do you do things that make you happy and that you don't get in trouble if they're young enough? What do they look like? What are you feeling? It's very important to talk to the children and ask them how they're feeling and tell them it's okay to have the feelings that they're having. It's very easy for someone to say, you make me happy, you make me proud. No, I feel happy. Taking the responsibility away from them to think that they must make you happy, because truly they can't. You're the only one that can make yourself happy. You have to be happy with inside. So say, I'm happy because this is happening. I'm proud because of the way that you express yourself, and that I see this potential in you. Always telling them that they're loved, that they're light, that they're phenomenal, that they're awesome and beautiful, and teach them to be kind, and that being kind feels good and being generous feels good, and knowing how to receive things and how to receive gifts and how to receive compliments also is very important. A lot of people learn to give and don't know how to receive, so you stop that flow of energy. Letting them express themselves, and if you're seeing that they're expressing in a way that could be harmful to them, redirect them in another direction. Give them pens and crayons and paper and paint, and build things to build with, and get them engaged with themselves. But if you listen to a lot of these little interviews, they'll ask kids these questions. The kids have the most profound answers, and the parents are like, huh? What? From a baby? So the more you can lift them up, tell them, even if you don't see what they're seeing, you believe it's there, you believe they're seeing it. I don't see it, but tell me about it. I don't hear it, but tell me what you hear. I don't I don't feel that, but what do you feel? Crystals. Crystal minerals are great. Everybody loves them. All kids love rocks, sparkly
Gemstones.
rocks. Well, you're using them as gemstones because you're getting them polished and cut into very specific um, cuts that are designed for jewelry. I'm talking about crystals, raw crystals. Here, hold on one moment and I shall show you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, so the difference that you're talking about are things that are made into really nice pieces of jewelry, rings and necklaces and things like that, pendants. I'm talking about where they come from originally. Now, this is a clear quartz crystal. The end is raw. I don't know, hard for you to see that way. This is where it broke off from the crystal itself. This is a self-healing clear quartz crystal because of the way that it came off of the original one-piece crystal. It put so much energy in this crystal that it broke itself off. It was not broken off by man. Clear quartz is a high, powerful crystal. It's also an amplifier of everything else that it's around. Here's another beautiful. See the sparkle? It's got a
Which kind of?
blue. It's got a blue tone to it. It is, I believe, this is blue agate, or I can't remember when I bought it. So blue agate, or it may be angel light. But then it's got the rock on it, the actual geode that it comes from. It's like a rock. Then, of course, you can buy something more polished. This is, some people call this a tower. It's actually called an obelisk. This is rose quartz. This is my favorite, rose quartz. Unconditional love, all the way. And its counterpart. This is the divine feminine representative. This specific crystal is a representative of the divine feminine energy. This is lapis lazuli. The same thing, it's an obelisk, which is sacred geometry, which brings a different energy, an amplified energy to the crystal itself. This is the representative of the divine masculine energy, this particular crystal. So teaching, and you know, when you go into stores, you can buy them little tumbled ones or little raw ones. And even rocks that you find on the ground hold energy. So allowing the children to express themselves, to have a rock collection, to allow them to buy crystals. My granddaughter has, she's already getting her little crystal connection, and her favorite on her own is rose quartz. So I absolutely love that. So those are things that we can do. Water's huge. Children love to play in water. Water is a natural cleanser. It's also an amplifier of their own vibration. So there are things that they know to do naturally that we need to allow them to do, of course, within reason, to keep them safe, but to express themselves and to be able to know that. There's a couple videos on YouTube of this child that builds, of course, he's probably an adult now or a young teen, but this child was like 6 or 7 years old, building huge crystal grids and knew exactly what the grids were going to do. Amplify this for abundance, for healing. The child knew exactly what those grids were going to do, and letting them play in the earth. As you said earlier, giving back to nature. Mother Nature is the best teacher. So those are the things that we can do to help our children.
According to the all religion paths, that only teach that we have to innocent like a child, like Jesus Christ said, that only child can enter in the kingdom of God. And in the India, there is a Saint Dattatreya. He also said that I have learned innocence from a child. So having innocent like a child and giving unconditional love like a child can reach up to the God consciousness.
Well, you can do so when you are acting as a child and loving and being innocent as a child. You are joyful, you are playful, you are open and aware. You don't need to be a child to do that. You can do that as an adult too.
No, I am just saying about the child behavior, like accepting the child behavior. That
Exactly.
innocent, yes, yes,
Exactly. And it doesn't see, it's the human construct that has given it that it's a childlike behavior or an adult like behavior or a mature person's behavior. Those are labels that we've given. And that's truly not the case. They're just being in the energy of who they are at that moment. And it doesn't matter what our suit looks like or what our age is or anything like that. You're living in the moment and feeling that bliss and that joy all the time. It's just that humans like to give labels to everything. It makes it
yes,
easier for us to describe things. So it's not a bad thing or a good thing. We just use it as a tool to be able to describe things and understand things.
yes. Simplicity and innocentness is the most important thing that we can learn from the child.
Yes. Yes.
And then if we learn this, we can enter in the kingdom of the God. If we become innocent and having the kind
Let
heart.
me let me ask you this. Why do you feel you need to enter the kingdom of God? Are you not living in the kingdom of God right now?
This body is the kingdom of the God, but our consciousness is in the first layer and the God is in the higher layer. So we have to take the journey, as I think.
We do have to pick our journey, but anybody can connect with God because God is within everybody. So everybody, anybody can connect with God at any time. You don't have to raise your vibration to do that.
Yes, that's true. But in the term of self-realization, seeing the self, the God within, we have to take this journey. And I feel that we can connect to the God anytime, and the prayer helps.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, see, that's part of my job is to teach and to show people we don't have to go through all of these different layers of learning and structure and all of that, that you can do it right from the beginning. And then you have that and you're like, oh my gosh, that was so amazing. I wonder if I want to do it again. And in that wanting to do it again, now you start to uncover the layers to get there in a clearer, faster way. And that no one is separate from God
He
anytime,
resides within.
always,
In
always.
your, yes, in your recent meditation, yes, you can continue.
And one more thing, um, it is my belief also. God is not a being. God is an energy.
Yes, of course,
It's an
God is an
energy.
energy.
Yes, it's an energy. So go ahead, your question, honey. What were you going to say? I'm sorry.
Yes, yes. So I'm asking that according in your recent meditation, have you received any lesson or message from the star beings for you or the world in your recent any meditation?
That's an everyday thing. Um, Yes. So we recently went through a major, major, major energetic and consciousness shift in the planet this last weekend, November 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Prior to that, August, September, and October all was this big purging energy to get stuff up and out, to help clear yourself and clear your belief systems and your thoughts and all of that, of any negative energies and platforms and things like that. And then we got this huge rush, which pushed us way up high, way up high. And we're being asked to level off right here now, and we're going to get pushed up higher and higher and higher throughout the rest of the year, very fast, very rapidly, culminating with the solstice energies. And there's a whole huge planetary alignment going on the solstice that hasn't happened for hundreds of years that's assisting in this right now. So this is the energy we are in right now of what dreams are made of. It is the culmination of everything we've been working for. All of you are manifesting for better lives, for a happier planet, for this pandemic to be done, all of that kind of stuff. That is happening now. I know it doesn't look like it. Trust in it. We're going to get taken to even a higher place, and then we'll get a little reprieve in January. Use this time and this energy coming into the planet wisely. In your meditations, breathe that light and breathe that energy in. And don't just breathe it in. On the exhalation, push it down and fill your body with it, all the way down to your toes and your fingers, and expand it out into your auric field using your breath. The breath is your most powerful tool. It is your most powerful tool. It is the divine sacred breath, for we cannot live without it. Use it. It's a tool.
Yes,
Besides it keeping us alive, it is a tool. So you use it to move energy throughout your body. So these are the things that are the information that is coming through. And yes, a lot of things are being uncovered, because with that shaking up of the higher vibration, the sand, the dirt has come loose for some of those things to come up and out that need to come to light and be exposed. And in order to get rid of them, to get rid of that type of energy, those types of things that are going on the planet throughout humanity, they need to be exposed so that they can be stopped. And that's happening also. So be aware of that. And let's see. This is the season all over the planet for many different reasons of love, joy, kindness, gratitude, giving, compassion, being with family. And yes, that's difficult in these times, but we would say to you to not let that detour you from being in that energy space. Hold that space of love and joy that typically goes around your earth plane during these times. There are many different holidays being celebrated all over the planet in many different religions at this point in time and throughout the next couple of months, especially one day that is celebrated throughout the entire globe is the calendar New Year. Most people celebrate the calendar New Year with joy and anticipation and excitement that raises a vibration of the whole entire planet. Use that day wisely in your manifestations, in your prayers for the entire planet, in your prayers for yourself. There is much that you can do every day on every different level to assist yourself in the planet and all of humanity in every way, in a myriad of ways. Choose one, focus on that one, or choose many and do a different one every day. Being unconditional love is a state of being. It's also a state of receiving. It's a state of giving. And in that state, you are healthy. You have clarity. You have compassion. You have everything that you need for a healthy, happy, wealthy, abundant, joyful life. Why would you not want that for yourself? There are so many people that think and say that they want that, but when those good things start coming, they don't know that feeling. They're not comfortable with that feeling, and they change it to what they're comfortable with. It's easier. Most people know what they don't want. They don't know what they do want. Knowing what you don't want brings more of what you don't want. Pay attention to what you do want. And when you do that, that creates great change. That takes down barriers and blocks and walls. And no, you are never stuck. Never stuck. You're only marinating, waiting for the next best thing, the next best part of you, the next level of you. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hi, no, we could continue.
It's very nice to meeting the people like you. You are the true gems from the treasure of
Mm,
God. Yes,
thank you, but we all we all are that. We all
yes.
are that. We just need
You
to help
have,
everybody else find that.
yes, you
That
have
find
clean yourself, and we have to clean so we can too shine.
I do it every day. It's a continuous process. It's a continuous process, trust me.
Yes, it's never
But
stopping.
it's when I see where my life was 20 years ago, even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, to where I am today, it's a huge difference. But I've also done the work to get there. I've done a lot of work, clearing my energy fields, clearing belief systems, using the different healing modalities that I have uh, to release that type of energy for myself, helping other people, helping lots of other people, because I want to, because it makes me feel good when I see someone come to me and in this state of angst and depression and not knowing what to do, and then they come in 6 months or a year and they're a totally different person. They've done the work. I've given them the tools, I've helped them, and they've done the work, and I've shown them how to find other tools for themselves, and they've done the work, and then they come back, they're this totally new person. It's not it's not another person. That's how we say it. They're actually stepping into and living more of who they truly are, not that they're another person. They're getting to know themselves and who they truly are. That's what changes them. That's what changes them. To learn to reconnect intimately with the soul and love the soul. to love the self. That's what changes everything.
Yes, spirituality is the thing of consciousness, and this is nothing else. Salvation, enlightenment, self realization is nothing, just the highest stage of consciousness. There is a sage, Bhishma Pitama from our India, in the time of Krishna. He just said, what is the enlightenment? He said, na moksho namasa prashke na patale na bhutale. He said that enlightenment is nowhere to find outside, not in the up, not in the down. It's just in the inside.
Yes.
And he said, what is enlightenment? To cheto hi vimla. When our consciousness get pure, our intention get pure, and our love get unconditional love. So we are in the stage of salvation, enlightenment, moksha. Different words.
Yes, different words. And I do believe that we reach different levels of enlightenment in a human body. It is my belief that we cannot reach complete enlightenment in a human body, total and complete, because there are some constraints to being in the body. So, but we can reach access very high levels of enlightenment. But it's an evolution. Enlightenment continues as the humanity and the human being begin, and the soul begins to expand in their awareness and their consciousness. So does the level of enlightenment begin to expand, because there is always more to learn. There's always more to do and appreciate and experience. So it's never ending. It's an infinite level of awareness. No level to it.
It's not have any level, it's unlimited. The God is infinite.
Yes.
We cannot compare it.
Absolutely.
Because
it's an absolute.
There's lots of saints who are meditating from 5,000 years, from 50,000 years. They are not reaching the ultimate God. The God is infinite.
The God has always been there long before there were human beings on the planet.
Yes.
Long before that.
Seeing your Facebook post and any other post like yours, so there is a post called 5D Earth. 5D Earth is coming. So when it's coming, and what is the 5D Earth, fifth dimension Earth? Can you explain to our viewers what is 5D Earth?
New Earth, 5D Earth, is a vibrational frequency, the Earth vibrating at a higher frequency. And with that, the Earth actually is in 5D, locked into that fifth dimensional vibrational frequency. Our conscious awareness, for those of us that are practicing some sort of self-awareness, spiritual practice, our consciousness is much higher than fifth dimensional frequency. Our body, and we go back and forth, oscillate between 3D and 5D. It's a measurement of vibrational frequency. It's not a separate place and a separate space. It's a frequency. When you are operating on certain frequencies, let's say up here in 12th dimension, something that's going so fast as this, something that's down here can't stay on there. This is going like this just gets knocked off. So in New Earth, that's what's happening, is we're raising our consciousness, we're raising the frequency of our bodies, holding more photonic light, clearing ourselves, that the Earth enters a whole nother level of frequency. Is it a choice for people to stay in third dimensional frequency and not change? Yes, it is. Do they have to go to the fifth dimensional frequency of Earth to exist? No, they don't. But their lives will get very difficult, because that lower dimensional frequency is getting harder and harder and harder to stay in. It's forcing. Yes, we have free will, but there's a force with it that you could choose to stay in it and everything just falls apart all around you all the time. Or you could choose something different. And with that, the earth, the frequency of a third dimensional earth, which is down here, and now the fifth dimensional earth is up here. The space in between them is getting bigger and bigger and bigger now. So the actual frequencies are breaking down into more finite frequencies to give a bigger divide. And we'll be residing over here, and then there will be some over here. It's really hard to visualize or to comprehend unless you're given a really good visual. And they keep changing they're not changing the explanation, but different ways to explain it to me, so to try to make it easier for other people to understand. Because for me, I can see what it is. But let me ask you this: anybody listening to this, you can, before you go into meditation, let's say, go outside, look around, pay attention. What does everything look like? What does it, close your eyes, what does it feel like out there? Then do your meditation. And when you're done doing your meditation, go out again and look. Close your eyes and feel. For most people, they will feel and see the difference. The color is crisper, clearer. The sky is bluer than it's ever been. The trees are greener than they've ever been. You can smell the earth in the air. You can smell the plants. You can feel a difference. Do it for yourself. That is the best way for you to see that there is a difference. There is a huge difference. And that is one of the easiest, best ways for people to be able to gauge that, to have a measure of it. And just keep practicing it. And then you'll start seeing that there's a huge difference from when you come out of meditation, when you go in and when you come out, what things look like and feel like. It'll be a big difference because you'll be operating in a different frequency, which makes everything feel and appear, and all of your senses are heightened. It's just a whole full body experience, so that you see things much differently.
So any message or any guidance to all of our viewers that are watching our video in the future? So if you want to give any guidance or message to them that can help them to evolve more and more.
Chakra work. For every negative thought that you have, if you catch yourself, say cancel, 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 or at least cancel once, or delete, and replace it with 2 positive thoughts. If you replace it with one, and this is very new information to me, if you with 1 thought, which is what we have done in the past, all you're doing is leveling out the playing field. If you cancel it with, if you replace it with 2 positive thoughts, you've leveled the playing field and then raised it. So this is one thing you can do. Look for the silver lining in everything. In every situation, there is something good that is happening there that most people don't see. Look for the good that it's going to bring out. Look for the good in people. Even the people that people deem bad, evil, there is good in them. Look for that. Acknowledge that. You don't have to say it to them, but at least acknowledge it. Do your best to practice no judgment. No judgment of others, no judgment of yourself. It's not easy. But every time if you catch yourself doing it, forgive yourself. Change it. Change the thought. Those are the easiest things that you can do. And they will have the most profound change for your own life. The most profound change. And it's not really hard. You just have to be diligent. You have to pay attention to what you're thinking. You have to pay attention to what you're thinking before you speak it. And in doing so, you slow down and you think things through before you say them. You think things through before it comes out. You become yourself, who you are. You speak from the soul. You speak on a soul level. You speak with the energy of the divine flowing through you instead of the energy of the situations around you, and not letting them control your life. You get to control your life. You get to control your reality. If you don't like where your life is, change it. Change it. And watch out for the yeah, but people. I can do this, but yeah, that sounds like a really great idea, but they like that, being stuck in that cycle and that loop, even though they don't know it, because it's familiar. And it's very hard sometimes to reach them. And sometimes you just have to say, okay, to yourself, this is where they are in their journey, and I can't assist them right now. And then you have to walk away. And when they're ready, then they'll come back. And that's what you do. It's the easiest thing to do.
Yes, you are right. Non-judgmental and forgiveness, these are the basic things to getting evolution in this path of spirituality.
Mm-hmm. Forgiving of the
Yes.
self too.
Yeah.
Self-forgiveness is huge. People don't do that enough. People don't do that enough. We make choices. People make choices on what they can understand at the time. Scientists make decisions based on what they can understand at the time. Do they reach for something they cannot see and cannot feel and cannot measure? Of course they do. That's why we have satellites and we have internet and we have all those things. Because just because they couldn't see it didn't mean it didn't exist. They just had to search to find it. So just because some people can't see or feel energy, and the change that it makes in your body when you do positive things, that doesn't mean that it doesn't work. The more you do it, the easier it is to feel that and to sense that and to see the difference that it does make. So just because you don't see immediate results instantaneously, that doesn't mean it's not working. Human beings did not get into the situation that they are in overnight, but we're getting out of it much faster than the way we got here. Much faster.
And I have to add one more thing, that
Okay.
called surrender. Surrender is also a most needy thing in the path of spirituality.
Mm.
There is a slok of Gita. The Krishna has said, "Kayenu vacha mansendriya mukasya vacha prakati swabhavat karoti yasmai sakalam parasmai narayan eti samarpayami." यानी मतलब if you do anything with your words, you thinking of something or doing any work physically or thinking something mentally, just surrender everything to the God. And this is one of the most important thing we have to do.
Well, that, and in surrendering, you are vulnerable. And when you can be vulnerable, the lower ego no longer has hold on you. It no longer controls you. And that's a really good thing. a very good thing.
So in this dive into divine 2.0, the part 2, have recently answered many of spiritual questions, and we can accept more and more thing in the third part 2, which
Well,
help
we'll
people
just
more and more.
it's not a part one, a part two. It's just a
No,
continuation.
yes,
We're just
it's
going
just
to continue on.
yes, it's just serving the child of the God, the people, through you and through this internet and technology, helping the people.
It's also serving you and me, because this is what we're supposed to do. This is part of what we're supposed to do. So it's also serving us to be able to live our journey and our path, and what we came here to do is to help many, but it also helps us to be able to do that, to be able to continue. It's a beautiful cycle. What Nothing you ever do only affects one person or one thing. It's a ripple. It's like throwing the stone in the pond. It ripples out, not just in this environment, it ripples out into the cosmos, out into the galaxy. It ripples way further out. That's why we have so much help from these wonderful divine beings that God has sent to help us, because it affects all of them too, what we do. So, because so much connection, so much connection that we are not even aware of.
The spiritual talk is like never ending topic, and it's so blissful to hear more and more. The
Oh
spiritual
yes, I
talk.
have conversations like this with my friends. We all day long,
Yes.
all day long. And that's when I'm happiest, is when I'm having these conversations, or when my grandchildren are with me. These are the things that make me very, very happy.
Yes, the granny's night stories and the granny's talk help grandchildren to evolve more and more in the materialistic
Yes.
world and the world of spirituality.
Yeah. And that you learn, pay attention to the children, they will teach you much.
Yes, yes.
They will teach you much. You'd be surprised what they know and how much they will teach.
So I thank you once again for giving your precious time for the people and for the me to
Well,
helping the people.
thank you for asking me and allowing me to do that. So it is my pleasure. And I look forward to our next adventure.
Yes, the life is an adventure. We have to
Yes.
play the game of the
Yes.
world.
Very much
Thank
so.
you once again.
Namaste. Thank you.
Welcome.